We've talked about some of the things in Judges 1 before. It's a summary of the conquest of the tribes of Israel and Canaan. But more specifically, it lists all the Canaanites that the Israelites did not drive out. First, we read that the Benjamites couldn't drive out the Jebusites, specifically saying that Judah couldn't drive the people out of the plains. I wasn't there, I'm not an eyewitness. But I am an eyewitness to the truth of the Bible and the God who wrote it. His word is true, so anytime we see an issue, it's in our understanding, not in the text. Scientific and historical discoveries have repeatedly shown parts of the Bible to be true. Here it seems they were driven from the hill country by Joshua's conquest and fled to the plains. The Lord directed Joshua to burn the chariots when he was fighting the many kings and cities at once, but the Jebusites' chariots of iron didn't burn. Now, you've personally told a story before. You know there are so many details that could be told, and you have to pick and choose. You aren't lying, you just can't possibly tell every little detail, and your listener does not want to hear every little detail. Just because we don't see the whole picture doesn't mean the whole picture didn't happen. As we continue through the chapter, we start to read many stories of Canaanites not being driven out. They instead turned the people into forced labor. Now, we've talked about that before, the seeming victory, but it was their actual defeat in the long run. Joshua mistakenly makes a peace pact, and the people become forced labor instead of being killed. Then it seems the tribes take turns turning some of their conquests into forced labor. Maybe they like the idea of having slaves. It would be to their death and downfall, though. Never go for the short-term victory at the cost of the long-term one. Obeying God is the only way to win the long game. The partial obedience isn't obedience. We don't get to take God's commands and then mold them into what we think would be best and then obey that as if we were following God. Trust and obey means giving up what seems like the win, what seems like the best result. It's trusting there's something better, even if we never see it ourselves.